Hello and welcome to the Equestrian Mums Club podcast. We're your hosts, Katie Allen Clark and Sophie Conway, avid equestrians and recent first-time mums. Join us and a herd of other guests as we discuss the wild ride of parenthood and horse care together. Now it's time to take up the reins and walk on into our next episode.
Hello friends and welcome to another episode of the Equestrian Mums Club podcast. We are recording this on the 30th of April, chaps, for an April update, that you're going to get this exact same week. So it's hot off the press, friends. Hot off the press. And we have got so much to tell you about. This month, as you may have seen on our socials, we've just been a little bit slower than usual, but that's because, well, life has happened this month. So let's dive straight into it. Sophie Conway, what have you been doing in the month of April?
Hello everyone. Mainly I've been in Spain. So I'm really sorry for everyone listening that you're having to listen to that. But it's just the truth. And it was absolutely delightful, and I've never needed a holiday that much in my entire life. And it was not that warm, but a lot warmer than it was here, and it didn't rain. And we did spend time on the beach, and we ate our own body weight in pasta and prawns, and it was just lush. And I got a tiny bit of a tan.
I can verify, friends, the tan, she is glowing. She is actually glowing. And
that is makeup.
Glowing, and she's had her hair done, so she actually looks not shambolic, and I'm really quite cross about it.
Well, Katie continues to put up videos of me on podcasts where I look like I need to be somebody to give me money on the side of the road, and so I thought it was about time I did something about this and got a bit of a tan and got my hair done, because I was so sick of seeing my face on the Equestrian Mums Club Instagram page just looking horrific. I know it's supposed to be real, but I mean, come on.
We're always keeping it real for everybody, because guess what? Life isn't glamour 24/7 when you have horses and kids. Shock, shock, shock. So holiday, just rewinding. Who did you go with?
So we went, it was myself and Alex and Olive just went for a week on our own, and then we went up and met one of my best friends who is over there on mat leave, actually, with her second baby. She decided to go to Spain for a month, and I think, do you know what? I was looking at her and thinking, why do we have horses? Like, if anybody listening has got the opportunity to do this when you're on mat leave, I would highly recommend it, because what a thing to do. Just rent a house in Spain for a month and go out there and just do what you want. However, I do think that most people listening to this will have some sort of animal who relies on them at home. And so it's a lot easier said than done, and I certainly wouldn't be able to do it, but my God, I would love to. And it does make me question why we've chosen this life sometimes.
So, I don't know whether you remember, but obviously not last year because I'd just given birth, but the year before, I had an enforced sabbatical from work because I just needed to recuperate myself, feel better about life. And we went away and travelled a bit of Greece for 3.5 weeks during that sabbatical, and obviously had horses and dogs at the time. And it was really nice to get away, but I missed them so much. Like, even the mucking out, even the poo picking the dog's poo up. I really weirdly missed them all and their little ways, but it was nice to have a break.
Do you know that even we were only away for like 10 days, and I really missed, I didn't so much miss the horses because I really did need a break from the horses, but I did miss my dog, Peggy. And then, excuse me. And then as soon as I got back and she started barking at me and chasing the horses around the field, I was like, I would happily leave you for a month, to be honest. Happily go back and leave you on your own for another month because I've had enough of you after half an hour.
Poor pegs. But seriously though, they do have their downsides, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, question on holiday. You've obviously flown with Olive before, and the first time you flew with Olive was a mega long flight. How were your flights this time?
Absolutely amazing. Oh my God. We had, right. So this is something actually, this is probably a bit of a life hack, but I got the first flight out to Spain, which is so early. And a load of people were saying to me, oh my God, you're going to have to get Olive up in the middle of the night. It's going to be a nightmare. Which it was a little bit because we did have to like drag her out of bed. So I felt really bad for her. Got to the airport, we got on the plane, but there were no delays. There were hardly any people on it. We were straight on. It was a really smooth flight, and we had 6 seats to ourselves. So we basically had 2 seats each. And so Olive slept, I slept, Alex watched us both because he's a legend. And then when we got there, she also slept in the car, and we kept her awake until the evening. And then she just slept all night. She got straight into it. So I actually think that I'd recommend doing that, getting the first flight out if you've got a baby.
Oh, that's a good hack. I've not heard that one before, but I might try that one myself.
Well, it is insane. We had to leave the house at 2 a.m. And it was hardcore, but worth it, really, I think. And then also you're on holiday and you've got a whole day when you get there,
Yeah.
which is really nice. Like you just hit the bars and the beach and whatever else, and Olive loved it. It was just so nice to spend time as a family, and I really would recommend it to anybody, even though we were in bed by 9 p.m. and it was a very different holiday to what it used to be.
Yeah, it is a bit different when you got a kid, isn't it?
So can you give everybody, please, because you've had quite a lot going on, so and so have I in terms of the horse world, so can you give everyone a bit of an update on your most recent horse life, starting with Leo and Denny?
Okay, so if anybody is just tuning into this, hasn't heard of us before, Leo is my rising 6-year-old gelding who is retired due to suspensory damage. He's an Irish Giraffe Cross, and he is currently still in my back garden, living his best life, eating absolutely everything in sight, being ridiculously fat, and for the moment, he's just there. He's just chilling. He's just going to have a summer, see how he goes, and hopefully manage his pain and discomfort. And he has a little friend that we have borrowed called Denny, who is the world's smallest Shetland. And he is a real pest. He's
Is he?
he is
Is he a pet?
he's such a little pest, but he provides great entertainment. Like he keeps us on our toes, so can't complain too much. And he is a good companion to Leo, even though Denny does rule the roost. Denny's still with us. He is happily eating me out of house and home, and trying to terrorise my dogs. So yeah, he still exists.
Wait, sorry, I missed that. Which one's terrorising the dogs?
The little one.
Denny, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he's smaller than your dogs.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Can you put a photo of him up on Instagram, please, when we post this podcast?
Yes, I shall.
Thank you. I think everybody needs to see Denny because he's unbelievably cute, and you can just tell from looking at him that he's a little wanker.
He's really naughty. So yesterday I had the vet come round, my good friend Rebecca, to just basically say, yes, your horse is still lame, so that we can tell NFU that he is still lame and nothing has changed. And the little Shetland pony was riling my docile, lovely horse up so much that it wasn't a very calm trot up at all.
And for at home, what did you do with Rafe this time while you were trying to trot up? Because this is something I want to know.
Well, actually, yesterday I had our lovely nanny Emma in the afternoon.
Oh,
So she was here.
yeah.
But generally speaking, what happens is, based on a real life events, Rebecca holds him.
Get a vet to hold your baby.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I know. Bless these vets.
Yes, or he sits and screams in his pram. Either or, you know. So
They need to get on with this sometimes, unfortunately.
so talking about that, Rafe has spent, this is going to sound awful, but Rafe has spent a lot of time in his pram on the yard recently because I have done a stupid thing. I've done a really stupid thing.
I don't think it's stupid at all, and I don't think listeners will either.
On the 17th of April, friends, mid-month, I bought a new horse. Eek. Yes, I bought a new horse. Her name is Lottie. And I travelled to Cheshire, which is a long way from Wiltshire, friends, to find her. Yes, she is just about to turn 11. She is
She's beautiful. She's liver chestnut.
she is full Irish draft. And yes, she is a chestnut mare, but like, you know.
But she's pretty, isn't she? And she's also oh God, what was I going to say? I've forgotten. It's gone. She's beautiful. She's got socks. She's got socks.
She has. She's got 3 though, which for anyone that's superstitious, they won't like that. But she has got 3 white socks. She's currently at a yard about 5 minutes from my house because I don't really have space for 2 humongous ones at the same time here.
Or time.
Well, except for the fact that the yard that she's at is part livery. So that means that I am, well, have been this month, very stressed because our part livery means that I have to do the evenings and afternoons. So she is mucked out and turned out and whatnot and stuff in the morning and fed, but then the afternoons is me. And now I don't know about you guys, but actually the afternoons is my worst time with baby. Like
it is, yeah.
And luckily for me, the yard that we're at is really quiet, and it means that actually there's usually someone around if I need help, but it's not really busy. Rafe can be in his pram and not in the way of anyone. And Lottie, the horse, has been incredible. Like, she has been just a really, really good girl, like trying to settle and putting up with the screaming child. And yeah, today, I tried to put him in his pram while the physio was here to check her over, and he was not having it. So I had to put him in the carrier for the entire 90 minutes. And I also had to hold her because the horse was like unsure of the physio. And he just kept trying to hit her in the face. And I was like, well, this is a match made in heaven, isn't it? So
Olive does that to them all as well. She did do that for quite a long time. And poor Oscar was like, are you just going to let her do that? Well, I was like, what do you want me to do? I can't hit her.
Well, Lottie is a lot more sensitive than Leo. Leo's like just a big dumb idiot, you know. Like,
she's a mare,
and he puts up with anything, and he actually asks for it as well. Like he probably puts his head in to come and see Rafe and like presses his nose up against the child. So when he gets hit in the face, you know, you think, well, you kind of asked for it, but
justified.
But the mare is a lot more sensitive and didn't ask for it. So she's got a lot to learn.
It's quite exciting though, isn't it? And I know that she's having a bit of an MOT at the moment, and then probably a bit of time off, which I don't know if listeners agree, but I always think horses do better after a bit of time off anyway. And then hopefully you can get going with her and get riding, and there's lots to look forward to basically with this lovely horse.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for her because she's just a really nice person. Like you say, I'm doing a bit of an MOT on her at the moment because for various reasons I've been stung with horse ownership to this point. And so I just want to make sure that in her best interest, and in mine as well, that the vet's been out, the farrier's been out, the physio's been out, the chiro's been out, we've had the saddle fitter out. We're going for the whole shebang before I get on and try and maim myself.
I mean, also just thinking about that and what we do for these horses, and then thinking about your baby. Like, I think I've seen a healthcare visitor once, and Olive's had her jabs and whatnot and whatever else, and she's been to her baby classes and stuff. But really, a baby is actually quite low maintenance compared to a horse.
Yes, but no. I think like in the first 6 months ish, we had every appointment under the sun. And I don't know whether it's just Wiltshire and our health service here, but I felt like I saw someone literally every other day to start with, anyway. Then it tailed off. And I think as well, like I tried to over cram my weeks with like baby classes to start with, because you're going
I did that.
like you're going from loads
I did that as well.
loads of like work stuff and like social stuff to, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So I think
I know. Do you know what though? I don't like, if I had another one, I wouldn't do it again, because I actually think that those first few months, looking back now, every class that I took Olive to, she could only really see me anyway. It was actually probably a bit terrifying for her to think back now, to go into these classes with all these other people she's never seen in her life. I guess from a sensory point of view, it's very good, and I know that there's definitely good things to take from these classes, but also I think there's definitely an argument for just hibernating with your baby until they're 6 months.
first time mums have our permission. You don't need to do it all. You don't need to do it all.
Yeah.
Don't be an overachiever. Just enjoy yourself.
Exactly. So should we talk about my new purchase?
Yeah, go on.
I bought a horse.
You did, didn't you? You did.
Yep. He is 3 and he's huge, and I am a midget.
I mean, when you say huge, define huge.
He's bigger than Oscar. I'd say he's probably 16.1 at the moment.
Oh, Sophie, that is not huge.
I think he probably looks bigger because he's got like a body. He looks like a body on stalks at the moment. He looks like a crane. And he's so narrow. And just I'm not joking when I say he looks like a 3-year-old foal, and acts like one as well. He does not know how to walk in a straight line. He has never seen anything. He came over from Holland, and how he's not ever seen anything, I don't know, but he acts like he's never seen anything. So he turned up the day after we got back from Spain. The next day we took him down the field, and he got away from me twice because he had never seen a black and white pony ever, and did not know what.
That is incredible.
He did not know what she was. His eyes were on stalks. He was stood bolt upright up to about 18 hands. Anyway, after he'd been past her a few times, he was absolutely fine. And then, so long story short, but the horse that he was going out with for a few days is this old boy, Hunter. Katie's actually ridden him, Mr. Darcy, and he's lovely. But because he was out in the big field with the new horse for a few days, he got so fat that he could barely walk. And I was like, right, well, I'm really worried about this. So in the meantime, Oscar had his final scan on his pelvis, which has formed a something or other over the top of it, which is amazing news. And we got the all clear to put him out. But obviously, we wanted to reintroduce him to a field slowly. So I was like, it's probably not the best idea to put him straight out with this 3-year-old. But we also had to get Darcy out of that field because he was turning into an actual elephant. I will send you a photo and you can choose what to do with it, Katie. But I think the RSPCA might get called if it goes out on social. Anyway, he was out with the hippo, and I was like, right, we need to do something about this. So I thought what we can do is we'll put Oscar and the new horse, who, by the way, I have called Trevor. I have been calling Trevor. So
Why?
because his name's Rivander, and Trev. I don't know. We've just been calling him Trev. If anybody has any other ideas, please let me know. Maybe we should put out a little naming thing on Facebook, because he can't be called Trev. He's too pretty. Anywho, we put them out in little paddocks next to each other. Somebody drove past and scared Trev, and he jumped out over a fence that it's got to be 1.30 meters. Landed it, hasn't touched it, no scrapes on him, was just wandering up and down the pathway on his own, eating a bit of grass. He was fine.
And to revisit, for anyone that didn't know this, when Sophie was looking for this youngster, I was in Holland with another equestrian mum, Sophie Horn, which you may have heard about on our previous catch up. And Sophie Conway's genuine exclamation was, "Do you reckon this horse will jump a BE90?" And I think you got your answer, love, didn't you?
Well, my initial thoughts about this horse, who's very sweet actually, and he's got a gorgeous face, and he will hopefully fill out and look quite nice. But yeah, my first thoughts are that I've overhorsed myself quite significantly, and I'm never going to be able to ride him, let alone handle him. Second thoughts are that he's actually quite a bit sharper than I originally thought. When we went to see him, he was like a little kitten. And third thoughts are, I don't think I'm going to be able to get on him if he keeps growing. So yeah, all a bit nerve-wracking, but very exciting as well, really, isn't it?
So we'll be getting our show jumping friend over from the Netherlands to come and sit on it. Yeah. Okay, good.
And if I've got any volunteers, please send them my way, because I'm quite happy to give you a £5 to jump him.
A £5, nothing more.
So yeah, it's all very exciting, but also quite nerve-wracking, and a bit of a laugh as well, really, because Alex and I were both sort of like, Alex comes from a racing background, and he couldn't believe that he'd jumped out. And it's what he's been bred to do, though, isn't it? So we'll see.
I don't think that I will be scaling those heights. And I feel really safe in the knowledge that my horse doesn't really fancy that either. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling chuffed.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait and see. We'll give you another update about Trev at some point, I'm sure. But he's just spending the summer out at the moment, and occasionally I'm leading him in a figure of 8 to try and get to know him.
Well, saying that, I've got to do loads of groundwork with this horse, because that's what the physio has advised me to do. So, like, to build up her musculature. And there are some funny exercises out there that I will. Do you know? I might take a little video of them though, just to keep everyone entertained.
I think you should, yeah, do, because I think we'd all benefit from that, and our horses.
So yeah, that'll be fun. We've got a few months of getting to know new things, haven't we?
Yeah, and actually, I think what would be really nice to do a quick thing on is a very quick update about our children, because we've done a good update about horses. Oscar's great. We've got a very exciting year ahead of us both, really, or a couple of years, really, actually, of hopefully getting out and about and doing a bit more. So Rafe is now 8.5 months, isn't he?
Yeah, next week he's got to be 9 months old. Can you believe that?
9 months. I know, that's complete madness. And how is he, and what is he doing, and what is life at the moment like for Rafie?
Well, at this precise moment, at 8 8 on a Tuesday evening, he's screaming his head off because Daddy's got to put him to bed. So he's just tonight he's not great, but otherwise he's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely. He's really developing his little personality now. starting to really explore on his own. He's not quite got crawling, but he is a really heavy child, so I'm not surprised by that. That being said, he's got amazing.
I think 9, like Olive was 8 months, but she was tiny. She was only really small. And actually, some kids don't crawl until they're like over a year, and some kids never crawl. They just go straight from sitting to walking.
I think he might just be a walker because actually
Yeah,
he's really strong in his core, and he's been trying to stand up since literally like 5.5 months. Do you remember? He was always just on his feet.
yeah.
And he's perfectly able to use his limbs like if he stood. So I'm like, oh, I think maybe that will be what he'll do. But he's funny. He's really funny. But he's still judgy as hell. Like if he meets new people.
He's always been really judgy.
Yeah, he has. And I don't know whether he takes after me or Simon, but he's funny, and I'm really starting to enjoy him a lot more now. And I know maybe some people like will feel a bit awkward saying that, but as a person that doesn't has never been au fait with children, am starting to feel like he's a real little person now, and it's becoming more fun.
Yeah, and it only gets more and more fun actually. So Olive is now, she was 17 months like last week, and she is now, and she has got like a real mind of her own, and she's quite feisty.
No,
Which
I mean, this doesn't apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I don't know where she gets it from. It's weird. So so she is, again, she's absolutely hilarious. She's really, really good fun, and she is great company, but she's also quite tiring for me. Especially when we're out in the yard, and she bolts around now like she's like Usain Bolt. Unbelievable, especially when I open a stable door that she's not allowed to go near. She will bolt towards it and try and get in with those horses. And if anybody that thinks it's quite hard work keeping these babies safe on the yard when they can't move, you have got another thing coming when they can, because I am exhausted and like mucking out now. You used to just go into a stable and muck out. Now I'm in and out and in and out and in and out of that stable like a yo-yo, bringing her back into the stable, trying not to let her drown herself in a water bucket or cover her head in water when it's like freezing outside and I know she's going to get really cold. But yeah, it is really fun, and she absolutely loves it. And I think that how we're so lucky to have this kind of lifestyle where they can be involved and be outside all the time, and they're forced to be outside all the time, whether they like it or not. It's just good for them.
I would really like to know if any mums have any hacks for like on the yard, like keeping kids safe, sane, and distracted or entertained. Let us know, because obviously Soph's now hitting this point where she's got to keep an eye on Olive, but also, get jobs done. And I'll be hitting that soon. Like, I will. So let us know.
I've got a hack actually,
Go on.
which I haven't done it yet, but I am going to do it. In the mornings, I get up. So if I've got Olive in the morning and I need to muck out and go out onto the yard and do the horses, Alex will put them out so I don't actually have to deal with a 3-year-old, huge horse while I've got a toddler with me. But I then go and muck them out because he doesn't have time. And so I get Olive dressed in the morning, and then she has some breakfast, and then we try and get out by like 8:00, 8:30 sometimes. And I did it on Monday morning, and Olive was dressed. She had a little coat on, and she was playing in the stable, and I just moved some straw, and she ran over. The urine had kind of like pooled at the bottom of the stable, and she ran towards it, tripped, and landed kind of face first in a puddle of urine. And I was like, I sort of looked at her, and I just wanted to kind of leave her there and just go home. Obviously, I couldn't. So I picked her up and brushed her down. She was happy as Larry, didn't even cry. And then I had to put her straight in the bath when she came in and wash everything because she stank like a piss puddle.
So, just to revisit, what's the hack?
So my hack is that I'm not going to get her dressed until I get back in from doing the horses, and I'm also going to invest in a really good puddle suit. And we've had some really good suggestions online, and I've kind of waited until she could walk around, and now she can run around. So now is the time.
Yeah, I've actually just bought a new one, and I will review it. If it's
okay.
If it's good, I'll let everyone know.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
However, that has made me laugh so much, but I also feel like I've got a really guilty little secret to tell everyone.
Oh no, go on.
In the morning, I'll get up before Rafe in my pajamas still, and I will go and do the horses and muck out in my pajamas, and then I come back in, derobe, have a shower, get ready, and then it's a fresh set of jammies every day.
What time does Rafe wake up?
At the moment, around 10 to 7.
Okay, so you get the horses mucked out because they're literally right outside the front door before he wakes up.
That is the aim. I'm not very good at doing that always, but yeah, most of the time.
I think that's actually that. Obviously, if people are listening, they've got that, they're able to do that, then that's amazing. I know it sounds stupid. We've done it once when a horse was colicking, and left Olive in bed and I had the camera, and we just literally ran over to the yard, which is only, I mean, what is it, 30 seconds away?
Not even,
yeah, it's really close, but I still feel a bit funny doing it because it's a separate building.
Well, I feel like that, but I can actually see Rafe's bedroom from...
You can see the house, whereas when we go into the barn, we can't see the house. That's what my issue is. And so I never ever would do that. And also, Olive wakes up at like the crack of dawn, and so I'd have to get up and out by 4 a.m. to get back in time.
I have to say, I'm not a morning person, so like
I'm not.
It's a tall ask, but it's kind of like it's better that than wait till later on in the day, when and I always feel like I want Leo to have a really like long time out during the day, so I might as well just get my ass up. But it is stressful.
Do you want to know my guilty secret?
Go on.
So I'm not a morning person either. Turns out Olive is, because Alex is hugely. And so the minute, like, she will sit up and she'll be smiling and babbling away to herself, and then be like, "Where are you?" So I every morning I get her into bed, and I need to have my cup of tea in bed before I can move. And so I always give her like something to watch, and I've been giving her, and it's only like a few minutes long, so I don't feel too bad about it, but it's just so that I can finish my tea really and stare out of the window for 5 minutes before I wake up. But I give her in the morning Charlotte Desjardins at London 2012 Allegro, and she is obsessed.
Okay.
Honestly, you need to try it. It's something to do with the music and the horsey dancing, and like, and I cry every time I watch it anyway. So then we just start the morning having a bit of inspo for the day.
Well, that's sweet. I wonder whether we should let Charlotte know.
Yeah. Wonder if she does that with her baby.
Yeah, I wonder whether Isabella's also doing the same thing. Asking for a friend.
That's what I do for a live.
Do you know, it's really funny. I think like neither Simon nor I are morning people really, but we have to get up and get shifting to achieve this life of ours. But Rafe at the moment doesn't really look like a morning person either. And bless his little heart, sometimes he wakes up and I'm just not ready to like face the day yet if I'm still in bed. And bless him, he'll just chat to himself for like half an hour. Doesn't even need, like, it's not even crying for you to come and get him. He's just chatting away, having a chin wag.
What a legend.
I appreciate that about him.
I'm going to give you Olive for a week.
I think I might have a breakdown.
She's always up at 6:30 at the latest, pointing at the door.
the door.
But she points at her door and her tummy, at the door and her tummy,
Oh,
because she's like basically saying breakfast now.
I mean, she's smart though. That's smart.
She is. She when we were when we were on holiday, she ate an entire, and I know that I'm really lucky in this sense because she's a very, very, very good eater. And you know, there's a lot of people out there that struggle with the food side of stuff with their kids. I don't know why she's a good eater. I haven't done anything special. She just is. When we were away, she ate an adult carbonara to herself for dinner. And she looked like Mr. Darcy in the field. She could barely walk. She was sort of, her belly was just sort of like tipping forward. Sorry, Olive, if you're listening to this when you're older, but it is true.
Yeah, I also have a good eater as a child, except for the fact that he's still not quite game on some textures. For example, peas, mushy peas, absolutely.
Oh, you said that peas, but just he'll be able to have big ones, like
Yeah,
big ones normal, like when he's older.
but he actually, I don't think he minds actually eating them. It's just the texture is giving them ick vibes, which is fair. You know, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to more experimental food with him. At this stage, you've still got to be not careful, but it's less spices and less herbs and less. It's just a bit boring.
No salt, and like we've relaxed hugely, and I think going on holiday really helps.
Well, you can't control it, can you?
No, you can't control it, and also it's, to begin with, I was like, oh god, we can't put this butter in that because this butter's salted, and you do need to be like that up until they're about 1, and then you can like just it gets, the whole eating thing gets so much easier after they.
I don't know whether this is the place to admit that I've already given him like spiced lamb tagine or something.
Yeah, but that's good as well though.
Poor kid.
Lamb spiced lamb. Can I have some of that? That sounds great.
I mean, if Simon makes it, I'm not the cook here.
No, nothing. Sorry, we need to wrap this up. We're babbling.
No, I'm just about to say, talking about cooking stuff up. Get it. I think we should tell our listeners a little bit more about what's happened in April for podcast life and also for the Equestrian Mums Club community, because we have been quiet on socials, but that doesn't mean we haven't been doing anything. So in April, as usual, we put out 4 podcasts, as you may have seen, and we had some really just incredible, epic, lovely guests this month, didn't we? Like, we had some absolute tons on the podcast, which, I mean, we do every month, but let's just revisit who they were. So our first podcast that we released in April was a March catch up. So guys, if you haven't caught that, go back, listen to us chatting rubbish again. It will give you some more insight into life here. The next one that we released in middle of April was Gemma Dawson, who is our absolutely wonderful, gorgeous, just perfect osteopath friend, who's also a mummy MOT practitioner and Pilates instructor, and she does all the things. But she gave us some amazing tips about looking after our bodies, didn't she? And we've had some great feedback from that one. Have you been doing any stretches? Have you been doing any breathing? Need to know?
I haven't.
Oh, you bad bean.
Sorry.
Oh, you bad bean.
I'm really sorry. I've just been reminded to do it though by you, Katie. So I'm going to.
So that was a really good one, and I think people have amazing tips to take away from Gemma's chat. We also released a podcast with the lovely Charlotte Watson, and Charlotte is a financial planner, but not a man in a pinstripe suit. And I think if not,
and she has horses and a baby.
She does.
And so she knows our struggles, everyone. She gets it.
I think that was such an interesting chat for us, because when we recorded it, our minds were literally blown about some of the stuff that she had to say to us. And I definitely need to get another chat booked in with her. for myself, but we've had such a good feedback from Charlotte herself to say that she's had lots of inquiries and lots of questions from people. So if you haven't listened to that one already, go and listen to it. If you have listened to it already, go back because I think there's some amazing tips that you might need to put into practice there. And then our last release of April was with Rachel Barnett, aka Ray the Goth, and wow, that that was an eye-opening chat. What did you think about that one, Sophie?
I cried. And I thought that she was so brave in the way that she opened up to us, bearing in mind we are strangers really to Ray, aren't we? And
Yeah.
she didn't need to do that, but she did it for the greater good and for the equestrian mums out there that might be struggling and that have been through the same things as her. And it was really emotional, really honest, and really lovely actually chat. And so I think that's well worth a listen, and it just gives you an insight into not, what people are going through that's not on Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for us, like even ourselves, knowing this, like to forget we don't see sometimes, someone like that. She was talking about her kid not sleeping. Hazel doesn't sleep very well, and so they'll spend their days on like a couple of hours sleep a night. And if you've got a good sleeping kid, then you're completely oblivious to it. Or even if you haven't, you might just be thinking, well, you don't even think about it, do you? Yeah.
Might think you're on your own if you're going through that, but actually you're not. There are people going through it, and it was just really nice for her to open up so much about the struggles that she's had, and also the friends that she's made, and this lovely life that she's made for herself now, which is just great.
It never ceases to amaze me how generous people are with what they tell us, because
Yeah,
some of the guests we have on the podcast, obviously we know fairly well. Some of the guests that we have on the podcast we know just via this project, and some of them we've like spoken to twice before we actually get on a recording with them, and then they share all of this amazing information that just builds the community more and more and more. And sometimes I don't know whether we deserve it. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
we've
But
got imposter syndrome a lot of the time.
yeah, yeah,
Like, why have we got any authority in doing this? Apart from the fact that we've got a horse and a kid like a million other people. But I think that the beauty in what we're doing is to give all of these other mums a platform and hopefully try and help people to not feel so alone.
yeah. And that really is the resounding message from everybody we speak to, isn't it? It's
Yeah, we've had some amazing messages and it's lovely. So just to wrap this conversation up, I really need to just like let out all I want to scream because I'm so excited. Because the Equestrian Mums Club are heading to Badminton.
yes, we are.
Excited. And we're dragging the brood along, and we are going to have the time of our lives. And so please, if anybody sees us and, or if there's anybody that we've ever spoken to that we've had on the podcast, or if you've reached out to us via Instagram, please come and say hello to us, please, because we would absolutely love to meet you. Love to.
We would. And this is not us saying we want to be papped, all right, guys? So, like,
Speak for yourself, Katie.
but we are now getting to the point where we meet people out and about, and weirdly, they talk to us about our very own project. So it's turning into a real community, and that really is the point. That is the point. So come and speak to us.
And also going to if you're going to badminton, please tell us what you're most excited about, because I can tell you what I am most excited about. And I know this is controversial, but Oliver Townend is going there to try and win the Grand Slam. And I didn't see, so I've been going for like a million years. I didn't see Pippa Fun. Oh, did I? Or did I? Oh God, I can't remember now. I think she won the Grand Slam the year before I first went on Primrose Pride. And then I did see Michael Young win the Grand Slam the second time, and they're only the only two people that have ever won it. So the Grand Slam of eventing is winning Burghley, badminton, and Kentucky consecutively in a row. And it's a big money prize, and it's sort of like the creme de la creme. And anyway, Oliver Townend's going for it, and it's with Ballamore Class, who I absolutely adore. And I mean, wouldn't it just be unbelievable in an Olympic year for him to go and win that? Oh God, I'm so emotional just thinking about it. Anyway.
Oh, she's thinking about sport. I'm thinking about shopping.
Oh, well, we've both also got new horses to shop for and babies.
And I'm excited to see people. This year, I didn't get to go last year because we had a sad family moment, but I'm so excited to see people that I've not seen in a while. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Anyway, so that is our April. Quite a lot going on, as always, in our lives. And quite up in May. And so hopefully we'll see some of you, and hopefully you listened, and just really excited about the summer.
Really excited. And guess what? If you didn't know already, there's still more podcast episodes to come. So May, June, July, and beyond, you'll get to hear our dulcet tones and those of our guests too.
If you're not sick of us by then, which you might well be.
Anyways, this has been another episode of the Equestrian Mums Club podcast, April Catch-Up Edition, and we will see you on the very next one. Bye-bye for now.
Bye!
Thanks for listening to another episode from the Equestrian Mums Club. It's been great to have you along for the ride. We've been your hosts, Katie Allen Clark and Sophie Conway. Make sure to hit the follow button to hear more from us as we dig deeper into the world of ponies and parenthood. And until next time, stay smiling, safe, and stay sane.